This is the strangest looking shock absorber I've ever seen. We have the bottom chrome pieces, and notice that the chrome is in good shape for the right and the left. Then what we have is a secondary spring here, a very small one, attached to a nylon bushing, which here's our snap ring right here. Now on top of this just fell out. This fits right here, and I believe this bullet item fits right in the end here, so that if the shock ever bottomed out, the bullet would hit the top. It's kind of cool looking. Big ass bullet. But I'll go in and clean that up. And this grease here, it's good grease, but it's 26 years old. So I'll go in and redo that, refix it, see if I can get some new boots here. Some new grease boots, if they sell them. And I'll put that on my wish list for what I need to do when I'm going to do it. And we're well on the way to do a front end rebuild. The other spring is somewhere up in here. You can't get these top bolts out without taking the handlebar off, and that's no problem. I'll just have something and reach up in here and pull that one loose and clean it up real well. Keep your 4 screws down here. Then we'll do the same thing we did with the front brakes. We'll clean them up all real good. Now it's very important that you keep everything together, or else put it back together so you don't lose anything. Because in 2 days you may forget how to put it back together if you don't work on them all the time like I do. Now I don't work on these all the time, but I've torn my Hondas down so many hundreds of times that I kind of know what I'm doing. So what we have here is this bullet-like deal, and a bullet there, and a secondary spring. Or this is your secondary, and this is your primary, one or the other. The springs appear to be in good shape. Another thing about springs too is that springs lose their metal tension due to metal fatigue, due to time, heat, wear, a lot of factors. But there's just not too much you can really do as far as performance springs on this bike, as far as I know. And they don't, the rear shock absorber here, they don't sell the spring for it or any of the parts. But on eBay you can find some of the parts. So we're going to completely rebuild this front end right here. And then what I'll do is I'll start with, I'll take the seat off and I'll strip the gas tank out of it, and I'll completely clean the gas tank up, go through the filtering system and everything that leads down to the carb, and I'll take the oil system off, the oil reservoir, and it had oil in it from when it was new, and I just mixed in new oil with it. But I will take that off. It has a filter on it too, and we'll just continue to tear the whole thing apart. The only thing I'm really light on is electronics, as far as switches and relays and how those things work and everything. So I just kind of leave the wiring alone. Oh, look! Did you hear that sound? You hear that sound? You heard it. We got another spring. It just fell out. So now I got 2 springs. Today must be a good day. But I'll clean all those up and I'll put in new. I'll find out how to redo them. And I'll have to get new boots. And on these boots, it appears, I don't know how these boots don't seem to be able to go over the top right here. Maybe this shaft splits right here. I'm not sure. But then another thing too is, after you get your bike torn apart and you're looking at it, the more you ride it and the more you tear it down, the more you understand how it works and the symptoms it makes if something's wrong. Like for instance, this one wasn't going, it was going 5 miles under what it should have been going, and it was a brand new engine. I couldn't figure it out. I adjusted everything the way I knew it was supposed to be adjusted. Then I looked over the front of the bike one day. I noticed that the front wheel was wobbling. I thought, my God, that's it. It's got a bad bearing. Or it could be a good bearing, but the problem is that, here again, everything on this bike, it doesn't matter how new it looks or how pretty it is 26 damn years old. And time takes its toll on parts. Okay. So we have the front shocks off, and we have the front brakes off. The next thing will be is to completely clean this up. I'm going to go check some manuals to see how it works, and then I'll clean the inside. I'll clean all these up real well. I'll clean up the insides of these tubes, and we'll put it back together. And maybe, you know, next year or 10 years from now or 100 years from now, if someone's rebuilding one of these, they can go, oh God, I'll just go to Dio's website, or maybe I'll call his grandson. Ask him what he thinks. So I hope this video helps all Gyro owners, because I really love the little things, and I've got a couple of months to work on it in the winter, and I think if you have a good hobby, you'll stay out of trouble. Okay, God bless.